What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, we got a big bout coming up tomorrow with Jeff Horn and Terrence Crawford. And I have really enjoyed the all of the lead up to the bout on the part of Jeff Horn's team. But at this point, they got to come on, man. They got to stop and they got to just go ahead and get in the ring and try to do their thing. Jeff Horn initially missed weight. If you guys did not hear, he came in at the weigh-in at 148 pounds, and then he had to take his underwear off, and he got down to 147.5 pounds. And I think he had either 1 hour or 2 hours to lose the weight. And he goes off, he gets in, he does something, takes a shower. I'll go through the article in a second. Then comes back, loses the weight. The bout is on. But afterwards, he blames Bob Arum and Top Rank for having missed the weight the first time, blaming it on the scales that were given to him by Top Rank. Now, this comes right on the heels of him having come to the United States and found himself in a situation where he didn't like the facilities, the training facilities at Top Rank's gym, because Top Rank's gym had a tin roof and they couldn't open the door to the, I guess there's a rolling door that would allow some air in, but that was locked when they got there. So they weren't able to, so they had to eventually change to another gym. Right now, they'd also complained before about feeling like judges and people were going to be against Jeff Horn in the bout. They said also they were upset about several other things. They're upset about the horse-haired gloves, upset about just a litany of things. They were upset about the change of the date that messed up their pay-per-view setup originally. My understanding now is that it is on pay-per-view. So it's just been a lot of complaints, man. A lot of complaints. Very vocal complaints. And it's just time to stop, man. It's time to stop. It's time to get in the ring and do your thing. You made work. Stop complaining. You made weight. Stop complaining. It took you another chance. You didn't get penalized. You were and here's the thing. I believe every word of it. I believe every complaint that they have, that they've made. I don't have an issue with them believing any of it because they're dealing with Top Rank. Yes, of course. Of course, these guys, I would believe that. Do I put it past Top Rank promotions? Top Rank from trying to mess those guys over and not caring about their pay-per-view? Absolutely, I would not put that past them. Would I put past them messing with the scales that they hand them to throw their weight off? Absolutely not. I would not put that past them. I wouldn't put anything past Bob Arum and Top Rank. I wouldn't put it past them. Do I think they did it? I have no clue. Would I put it past them? Absolutely not. Absolutely 100%. I believe that they're capable of any and all of that and more. But at this point in time, you got to keep it moving, man. You got to keep it moving. All right. I didn't do a video. When he missed weight, I was like, okay, I remember. Well, let me go through the article. And first, hey, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Also, thank you guys very much for your support of the super chats on the live streams with super chat. Hope you accept my invitation to attend them. I'm gonna have a very good conversation on the live stream tonight, I do believe, because I'm going to be discussing a truce, I would like to call, with Anthony Joshua fans. I want to call a truce because honestly, I'm tired of beating up on him, and because at this point in time, it's too easy. So I've got to find some way where I can stop doing it to you guys. Seriously, it's terrible at this point in time. Your excuses and the arguments you're making, they're just so poor, shoddy, trope at this point in time. They're trope at this point in time. I know I can see him coming. I've got the facts to dispute him. Nobody outside of your fan base believes him. So it's just time to quit. Anyway, so I'm definitely going to be talking about that in the live stream because it's seriously at this point in time, it's like picking flies off a wing. It's like picking wings off of a fly. There's no defending Anthony Joshua. And honestly, man, I made a real interesting observation about something he said that I'm going to share. But anyway, that's a subject matter of the live stream. And but as far as what was said by Jeff Horn, let me go through this last complaint. Now, I like Jeff Horn. Anybody's familiar with what I have had to say about Jeff Horn? I like Jeff Horn. I like Glenn Rushton. I like the Australian fans that come to the page and talk about Jeff Horn and their appreciation for Jeff Horn. I like all that, but at this point in time, it's just time to shut up and put those horsehair gloves on and let's get to rolling. All right. Jeff Horn jabs Top Rank believes tricks were played with the scale. Jeff Horn has accused promoters Top Rank of playing tricks with official scales after failing to make weight at the first attempt for his mandatory world title defense against Terrence Crawford. In a dramatic weigh-in on Saturday morning, Horn was given an extra hour to come under the welterweight limit after initially being over the limit, clocking 148 pounds or 67.13 kilograms at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Horn then took off his underwear and was still over at 147.5 pounds or 66.9 kilograms. When he returned, he tipped the scales at 147, that's 66.67 kilograms, right on the limit, after taking a hot shower to lose the excess weight of approximately 200 grams. He had gone over the weight again. Had he gone over the weight again, he would have been stripped on the spot of his WBO welterweight title. Horn said he had tested his weight earlier on the official set of scales provided to his team by Top Rank, alleging the Bob Arum run company, who are the promoters of Crawford, had sabotaged him. I knew this was coming, he said. I think there was a bit of tricks up their sleeve with this one because he was just underweight and I was just over. There was a bit of play with the scales. We thought we calibrated our scales to the correct weight, but they've tricked us. Top Rank's Brad Jacobs flatly denied Horn's claims. Guys are overweight. Could have gone the same way for Crawford, he said. Horn was one of 3 boxers on the card who missed weight. The Nevada State Athletic Commission only weighs boxers by the half pound, meaning Horn may have actually been under marginally the limit the first time around. Horn has struggled to make weight previously, but his camp was supremely confident about his preparation, saying he was in the best shape of his life and woke up needing to lose only 1 kilogram on Saturday. Crawford had no weight troubles, coming in at 146.5 pounds or 66.45 kilograms. I am absolutely terrible at kilogram to pound translations or conversions, rather. However, look, like I said, could they have done it? Absolutely, they could have done that. But that's what happens, man. That's what happens when you get on the road. Now, the thing that interests me is, people who are highly suspicious of other people tend to be people who are gamers themselves. You know what I mean? Like people who tend to typically tell a lot of stories, like Eddie Hearn. No, man, I'm not going to get off that dude. I have not called Anthony Joshua ASS juice like I promised I would. So I got to at least stick with a little bit and throw a jab over there to to them every once in a while. But anyway, like that dude tells stories a lot. Bob Arum tells a lot of stories. They'll be the first one to try to pick out and call somebody else, a fibber, right? Somebody that is always, people that are, there's things like gaslighting, people that gaslight. right? People who are really manipulative and sneaky. Oftentimes, they see manipulation in sneaky ways in other people quite often. You know what I mean? Kind of like the old adage when referred to somebody that people use uh when people blame, when people cut, a little rank air in the car. He who smelt it dealt it. He who smelt it dealt it. So with all this Manny Pacquiao stuff where people thought that there was a little bit of a robbery going on, I just find it just ironic that the Jeff Horn's team is finding Bob Arum to be the sneakiest guy on the planet, right? When they're on the other side from him. But when he was with them and Jeff Horn got that decision against Manny Pacquiao, he was, it was just the way that it went. That was just a fair deal. I mean, Jeff, can't you see Jeff just, the Hornet won fair and square. There's no issues. When they went to the WBO, Bob Arum and company, Bob Arum's private boxing commission, hey, when they saw the way the judges, when they saw the bout the exact same way that the other judges who were hired by Bob Arum saw it, hey man, that was just obvious and that was fair play. But when they believe that Bob Arum is focused on it's in Bob Arum's best interest to have his guy win, because apparently Jeff Horn is not, this is the last bout on Jeff Horn's option agreement that he signed with Top Rank in order to get the Manny Pacquiao bout. Since this is the last fight on that, he's seeing ghosts in every corner, right? He sees bandits in every alleyway. It's starting to be a little bit telling, man. Starting to be a little bit telling. However, it doesn't have to be telling for long, because we are, as of the time of this video, about 24 hours away from making it happen. Now, as far as what I saw in the actual weigh-in, it looked like they were about the same height, but I noticed that Terrence Crawford was wearing those burgundy Jordans, very nice pair of burgundy Jordans, that I actually was like, God, were they Jordan something, whatever brand Jordan that my son convinced me to buy him. I can't believe I got that dude a pair of Jordans, like burgundy suede Jordans. But anyway, they're probably not actually suede, but whatever they are, those Jordans, those burgundy Jordans Terrence Crawford were wearing, made him look like he was about the same height as Jeff Horn, but he seemed extremely, extremely confident. He seemed very, very energetic. Now, I do believe he's going to be putting some pounds on, because he did run to the water now. And now that's the ironic thing about it, is that having missed weight and having to get in there and dehydrate yourself just that little extra bit, having to go that extra hour without taking in any water, Jeff Horn was thirsty. He jumped up on that scale like as thirsty as he could possibly be. And then to give interviews, because I saw on the ESPN Plus app, which kept buffering and I hope that doesn't happen during the actual bout, but the app that kept buffering on me during the weigh-in, that Jeff Horn Terrence Crawford went straight for the water and guzzled half a bottle of water, and Jeff Horn had to give an interview, and Jeff Horn could not drink any water. He had to go out there and go another hour and actually, get even more thirsty by jumping in a hot shower to lose those 200 grams or that half a pound. So I think that, that was probably the most telling thing about the weigh-in. The stare down. Terrence Crawford was looking real, real froggy, like, yeah, I'm about to get you, man. Like Black Fight Fan TV says, yeah, man. Yeah. That's what he's like, dancing, and yeah, like he's about to he was ready, and he was excited about for this chance to get that belt, to do it one more time. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I still say with this bout that I got Terrence Crawford winning. I have to admit that I'm being cautious, right? I'm being cautious and saying I think it's going to be a good bout because I don't like to be wrong. So I like to temper my expectations. Uh, I think Jeff Horn's pretty much the only advantage that Jeff Horn has is that, Jeff Horn is a big guy. I don't know whether or not the dehydration is going to affect him or not. I don't know if this chip on the shoulder. He's definitely not going in there relaxed. I'll tell you that. You can sense the nervousness on him. He's not happy. Maybe it's because he hasn't been eating, and he was hadn't taken any water all day that he looked like that. But he looked tense, and with all this talking going back and forth, I think that he's going to be ready. He's definitely going to be ready to throw hands, man. And him being on the road though, so far, not so good. So far not so good. His there's a lot of distractions in his camp, and the fact that he keeps fessing up to these distractions, right? It's like something he had said when he talked about Manny Pacquiao and how Manny Pacquiao, when he came over to Australia, how he had to deal with sleeping in a hotel. He wasn't getting out of his own bed. His whole routine was, his routine was thrown off. So he had to adjust to that. He had to adjust to food. He has to adjust to the time, to the time zones and all that. All of that type of stuff. It just seems like that stuff has really affected Jeff Horn in this training camp, and it's obvious it has because they talk about it the whole time. Now, I do believe that they're going to have a good game plan for Terrence Crawford. Seems like Glenn Rushing is a very bright guy, a very, I like the way that he talked about how he go about preparing and trying to find, the best the weakness in the opponent and trying to match your best strength up against their weakness. But even when they said that about Terrence Crawford, they didn't really sound convinced. Because to me, when he started talking, he's like, well, even if you're fighting if you're in there with somebody like Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford is, you're looking for his relative weakness. And even though what he doesn't do his best at, he'll still probably be better at that than most other people are. But it just happens to be that it's not his biggest strength. So you're looking forward to with Terrence Crawford, something where you're trying to attack something that's not his best strength. And that does say that just that statement says a lot about what Glenn Rushton and the Horn camp has, what they think about Terrence Crawford. And so at the end of the night, I expect Terrence Crawford to be walking off with that. There's a lot of people that are predicting, that Terrence Crawford is going to run through Jeff Horn. I don't see that. There was my man who did a video channel that I do enjoy, man. I've been checking out his stuff a lot more lately. Best Fight the Best, BF TB Boxing, the best face the best boxing, who talked about, look, man, this is going to be, he's just going to run through him. That was kind of the take on it. And the rationale was that, we've been hearing the same thing about, that basically this Jeff Horn is the same Jeff Horn that everybody thought was going to get blown out by Manny Pacquiao. He's the same Jeff Horn that people laughed when it seemed like Jeff Horn was going to be the mandatory for Errol Spence Jr. if Kell Brook had decided to vacate his IBF title, right? That's the same Jeff Horn. That's the real Jeff Horn, not the Jeff Horn that surprised Manny Pacquiao, because the guy that surprised Manny Pacquiao really was fortunate in that he fought somebody who he got in there with a guy that was older and really didn't expect Horn to put up much of a contest, right? So he just thought that this was going to be it's an easy tune-up bout, and it wound up being anything but an easy tune-up bout. But not to expect that same thing from Terrence from Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford is taking Jeff Horn very, very seriously. He's 100% prepared. This is something where he is facing Jeff Horn for a title, and he's going to come in there ready. So anyway, with all of that, I'm looking forward to the bout, and with that, I'm out. Peace.